Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. I wanted to hop on here earlier today because I will not be around this evening and I didn't want to miss out on something, especially because I don't even know. Maybe I should have called this an urgent message slash specific message because this is popping up into my head and I really shouldn't be on here yet. I should be doing other zodiacs on the other channel. But I kept hearing somebody say it's all in the details. It's all in the details. And then I don't know if somebody was like detailing their vehicle, and then I saw the image of something very like highly detailed, like oh god, I don't know how to say it. Like either artwork that was detailed or like like the minutia. Maybe it was somebody's outfit was very detailed, or something that they were looking at and it was like, wow, there's so much to take in, and then, oh look, there's more, and oh, there's more. It feels, it almost seems like somebody was looking like in a children's book or something, and you know how like a like Where's Waldo type of thing, where there's so many little faces and you have to look through all the details to find Waldo, kind of along the lines of that. So let's see what we've got. Hi guys, so nice to see everybody. All right, so what are all of these insane details about? Knight of Cups, High Priestess. High Priestess is not about details. High Priestess is about the murky, other world that exists that you can feel but you cannot touch. But sometimes you have a spark of a moment where you're like, I know. I know the answer to this. I know what to do. I'm feeling completely pulled or completely pushed by an unseen energy force to something that I'm sure about this, or I can sense this, or in the middle of a conversation with someone, the words that they don't say is it washes over you anyway, or you walk down the hall and you see a coworker and you can just tell they've got a headache, and it's like, why do I know they have a headache? Is it, the pinched look between their eyes, or is it just, why do I know this? Why do I wake up and some days you have to call a certain friend? Why do you know I must? Those things are not exactly highly detailed because you don't know all the specifics, all the minutia of why you suddenly have to do something or what the vibe is that you're picking up, but you're picking it up. Okay, so we have this feminine who is in this quartz crystal that is, becoming the base for the scales on this high priestess card, and then we have the divine here. I would say that it's a divine message coming in for a feminine. That's what I think this is. I think a feminine is getting a really divine download, and maybe it is, some kind of, I feel like I want to be more loving towards somebody, or I feel like I want to offer something. And this doesn't have to be about romantic love. This could be a feminine who suddenly feels like, I don't know why, but I just want to drop off a batch of cookies at my next door neighbor's house. They're elderly, and for some reason, maybe I just really want to go over and check up on them. I don't know why I've just been thinking about them. And sure enough, maybe they need help, in that moment. Sometimes it's the act of love, the thing that we feel compelled to do something generous just out of the blue. And there's a reason for that. This could be with those, we don't usually see the scales like this so much on the high priestess. And so I'm going to say that it may not be that it's her duty to balance things out for everybody on earth, okay? But I will say this, if this feminine has been selected to get the divine message, it says, do something kind, do something wonderful, you're going to help someone else, balance something out that they've been going through. She may be like an agent of the divine right now, is the way I would say this. The thing is, those scales are important because it also says she doesn't know it yet, but that is going to bring good back into her life, and indeed could be a massive turning point for her where something really fabulous shows up in her world. So let me just throw out a scenario. She doesn't know it, but if she suddenly wakes up one morning and says, you know what, I don't know, I just keep thinking about that elderly neighbor next door, for example. So I really just kind of want to go knock on their door and say hi, and because I haven't seen them outside in a couple days. So I'll bake some cookies as an excuse, and I'm going to go over and knock on their door. Maybe it turns out elderly neighbor is fine, but maybe they did need a little bit of help. They need to put their garbage out and they can't do it. So it's like, oh, I can do that for you right now. And that opens up, kind of like a comfort zone. It's like, okay, whew, now I have peace of mind. I know they're okay. And I'm glad I showed up when I did because they needed help with that one thing. But for all you know, that elderly neighbor has some other connection, and they introduce our character at some point to the person who they wind up marrying. You never know. Sometimes life has a weird way of zigzagging and everybody wins. Following our intuition on an act of kindness, an act of simple generosity, I don't think that too many things go wrong. I mean, unless we our perceived act of kindness is something where it's like, I'm going to go, take this person's car and go wash it for them and surprise them. And what we didn't know is they had an appointment to get to, and now we've taken their car and they can't get to their appointment because we tried to do something surprise and nice. Okay, that could be a mistake. But I'm saying in general, the small acts of kindness that we feel somehow compelled to take, I don't think that those things usually result in like major, like, oh man, I wish I hadn't done that. Instead, usually that's what makes the world better. It builds community. And in this case, it could have a very serious impact on our divine feminine's life. And she doesn't even know it. She's not doing it for that reason. She doesn't imagine there's any payoff. That's not why she would do something beautiful or something kind or show an act of compassion or love towards someone. It's not for a personal gain. It just happens to be that we have the advantage in this story of seeing it may lead to a massive personal gain, the love of her life, no less. So I gotta say, this is a pretty amazing message. We have the sun. Okay, everything. Oh God, rising justice. Welcome, hun. That's so exciting. You're on an airplane listening right now in the sky. I love that because these are all kind of like messages that are from way up high. All of this is like, I don't know, just like I always love I don't love flying, but I do love being up above the clouds, and I love seeing the landscape down below. It's just spectacular. So that's actually really cool. But these are very much like messages from way up on high. It looks so beautiful. It looks like there's so much happiness, there's so much clarity. It's all going to click. It's all going to make sense for our character. If they are listening to their nudge to do something kind, even though they don't expect anything from it, it happens to be that it'll become clear that, wow, if I hadn't done that one thing, my life wouldn't have zigzagged and I end up with this 10 of cups. Eventually she'll trace it backwards and be like, how crazy, that one thing that I did that day, if I hadn't done this, I never would have ended up here. So let's see if we can fill in the gap though. So let's start at the very beginning again. What is the thing that she feels so encouraged to do? What is that kind activity that she wants to take, or that she's, kind of like sensing, I'd like to do something kind? We have a 2 of Swords. This could be to either act as a mediator for individuals that are having some complications. We have the Star, definitely, and 9 of Cups. She may know that somebody is in a place of distress. This could be anything from like, oh, my best friend is at odds with their teenage kid. Whatever. My sister is arguing with, my niece or nephew. I'm going to go ahead and, take one of them out to lunch, do a little, let's go have drinkies at this, for an afternoon, buy them a cup of coffee, whatever. And just kind of either act as mediator or invite them both to something so we have a nice day. And maybe I can act as a little bit of a healing balm. It could be something as simple as that. We see possibly an action of, I'm going to take somebody out because I know they've been stressed. It feels like she's going to do something. And it doesn't have to be something that costs a lot of money. It just seems like I'm going to spend some time. We're going to go out. We're going to go take a walk in the park. We're going to get a cup of coffee. We're going to sit and, the sun comes out and it's just beautiful. And it's a nice alleviation of stress for them. Maybe sometimes we just get the vibe that like somebody, our friend or somebody that we care about, could use a little support. So it could be something as simple as that. Somebody that we know is going through a tough time. And it's like, I'm not going to pry and say, hey, how about you tell me everything? Instead, let's go out and do something fun. And if the topic comes up, we can talk. But it just feels like I'm going to be a better listener, and I'm going to do something to connect and maybe even remind a good friend or, family member or something. how enjoyable they are, how nice their energy is to be around. Sometimes people just need to feel like the world has not forgotten them, or that they need to remember what it feels like to laugh and be a joyful person. So it could be a simple act like that for possibly a female taking a female friend or sister or somebody out, but it's something that they needed. This is purely, I mean, she may really care about this person, so it'll be a joy for her to be around them, but ultimately she's doing it as an act of love and an expression of kindness towards somebody that she cares about, who she knows is going through a tough time. And it's just to be a listener. It's just to, lighten up life and spend a little time with somebody that she cares about, who she knows is going through something tough. That, let me ask more directly, how does that eventually yield the 10 of cups for her? Because I'm guessing it's probably going to be something along the lines of, when you go out and you interact with somebody and you're out and about, sometimes that's you meet other people. In this case, we've got an Ace of Cups in the reverse. So she is so not thinking about, we're going to go out, have drinkies, or go out to the park, or go someplace public and hang out so that I can support my friend. But secretly, I'll also be scoping the room to see, is there any hottie who's not got a wedding ring on? She's not doing that. Her mind isn't on her own love life at all. At all. And yet, sometimes when we're otherwise busy helping somebody else, but we put ourselves into a scenario where there are other people milling about, we become the focal point. And it is completely, she's oblivious to it, but we can see possibly a divine masculine, maybe a Virgo, somebody very thoughtful, is either noticing her from afar. I definitely get like an outdoorsy, I don't know if there's like a food truck nearby. I don't know if she's taking a friend on a walk. I don't know if they're going to some, maybe it's a bar or restaurant that has like a patio seating or something like that. And it's just a casual, sitting outside in an afternoon or something. But we see a divine masculine possibly noticing her as she's more attentive to a friend, listening to the friend. They're kind of laughing, they're kind of having a nice time. He may notice her and he's debating, I wonder if I could walk up with that Two of Pentacles. I wonder if I could break the ice. I wonder if I could say something to her before she leaves. So she's on somebody else's radar. So this is definitely, I said at the beginning, sometimes the things that we do for somebody else, we don't know it yet, but the cobwebbing of our life connects us to somebody else. And things that we do for others sometimes have an impact in our own life that, unconventionally or eventually unfurls. And we see how that one thing that we did actually later on played a bigger role in our own life, even though at first we thought we did it for somebody else. That's how this feels. She's going to be noticed by possibly a man with a beard. I don't know if he's wearing like a Carhartt jacket or what, but he kind of looks like somebody who's maybe quite outdoorsy. Maybe he's been single for a period of time. He could be, someone who's kind of out in the cold, or maybe she and her friend begin by hanging out in the, afternoon, and it goes into the evening and it gets chilly because she is wrapped up in a jacket here as well. Definitely keeps feeling like outdoor patio seating kind of scenario. But this is his opportunity to see her. I don't know if he rides like a dirt bike or something. He could be very handy. He could be somebody who does like works on bikes, mechanic type stuff, but she has caught his eye. Knight of Swords. He's feeling the same thing. For whatever reason, he chose to come to this location, maybe without knowing why. Maybe he was going to sit at home alone, and instead he decided, I think I'll go have a drink at some place. Don't ask me why, because he listened to his own guide. He could be very connected at a whole nother level to his guides as well. Maybe he's fairly spiritual, whether he acknowledges it or not. We could have a Native American background for him as well. This could literally be his spirit guide, and he's very aware of that. But he did something impulsive. He shouldn't even be here. This is not normal for him either. He's here because something nudged him. The same way she was nudged to do something, however, it was with a friend, but it gets her into a certain environment. And then he seems nudged to go someplace and do something a little out of the ordinary himself. And that puts him on her path. Now, him being more attuned to his own, you know, intuition here, he probably is like, well, I'm not going to miss the chance to talk to her because I shouldn't even be here. I don't even know what possessed me to come down here. Now I'm sitting here and she's like got a ray of light over her. I know I got to go talk to her. I'm not sure when. I got to wait for a break in conversation between her and her friend, but I got to talk to her. Again, he's in some jacket. Now it's kind of got the plaid. So he definitely has like outdoorsy, very thoughtful. He could be incredibly intelligent too. I don't know if he's wasting time playing a phone on his or playing a game on his phone or something while kind of keeping tabs on her, or if he actually, maybe there is a chessboard, checkerboard, something like that. A lot of, restaurant bar places have, kind of like tabletop billiard type stuff. But he could be doing something like that, but it's mostly to waste time because he's keeping tabs on her, not in a creepy way, but like waiting for an appropriate moment where he could say something. It's so crazy because this whole storyline says you never know how or where you're going to meet somebody, but it does say if we listen to our higher self, he's pretty happy that he listened to his higher self because I'm guessing he's been solo and single for a period of time as a hermit, right? And seeing somebody who stands out to him, my impression is he may not have a whole lot of people that he's drawn to or that stand out to him. And the fact that she is, that means something. And he doesn't miss that. He's not oblivious to that. He knows when something stands out, there's a reason. When somebody jumps out at me in an unusual way, there's a reason for that. Queen of Wands. Yeah, she's just his type. There is something, I think he likes her voice. She could have a very melodic voice, maybe a lower pitched, like contralto voice. I only say that because she's playing cello on this card, but I'm hearing like a low pitch, really soothing, like feminine voice. And that would make sense if she is sitting with a friend who she decided, you know what, I want to reach out to a friend of mine. I know they've been going through a tough time. I want to go ahead and spend a little time with a friend and just have a nice time together. My friend deserves some soothing energy. I'm going to be here as like, just wanting to support and soothe and heal. So I could picture that the pitch of her voice will probably be calmer, more melodic. Man, that is like music to his ears. That may be the first thing that he notices, that, and possibly just like a kind of a gentle energy that surrounds her. We see her in like a very attentive headspace, very warm. So he's seeing her as the most like friendly, supportive, warm energy. Granted, it's aimed at a friend of hers right now, but she's in also that Aquarius energy, the energy of the star. So I could see how she is very notable to him. Oh my God, Chrissy, you angel. Thank you so, so much. Chrissy just gifted 5 memberships. Welcome, you guys, and thank you so much, Chrissy. La Unique, you are now a member. Electra, you're a member. Real Estate Chain, you're a member. Belector, you're a member. And Tetra Flower 8. Welcome, everybody. You guys just know that means you can now tap into the members playlist that I have, and you'll definitely want to do that at least before next Monday. Monday is always our members day, but we do some extra little things in the members corner and our members videos, and I don't want you guys to miss out on being able to enter to win and such. So if you have time, check out the members playlist, okay, before Monday. Chrissy, you sweetheart, thank you so, so much. That was beyond kind. Okay, so he's liking what he sees and he's liking what he hears. And there's something about her that is so warm. No wonder, okay, King of Wands. No wonder he's like, I am definitely, the longer he either, maybe he's overhearing them, maybe he's sitting near enough that he can literally like hear the way she communicates. Maybe he can literally, see her energy flow because he's getting more and more convinced. Oh man, I'm so glad I came down here tonight. I'm so glad I decided to come here because I really want to go talk to her. That is exactly the kind of person that I want to be around. That is exactly the kind of person I've been looking for. King of Wands, staring at that Queen of Wands. He will be making his move. At this point, it's like, I'm hearing that song fast like a NASCAR. He is not about to let her, walk back out the door before he gets a chance to meet her. He definitely could have a beard. We see him a lot with facial hair. He does look very like classically handsome. He could be kind of like, you know, the there's something about him that I think will complement her energy very well. Like he's very much her opposite but complementary energy. The King and Queen of Wands are our sexiest duo, so they could both be highly attractive individuals. Now, that being said, I would just say to me, attraction is it's so subjective, right? Why do we fall for anybody? It's because of, if we think about actors and actresses, I've never thought that conventionally like beautiful people were really necessarily beautiful. Like, I mean, I think John Cleese is like hot as hell, and I know he's not what you would call conventionally handsome, but he's so smart and he's so funny and he's so, like, to me he's a total hottie. He gets hotter with age, so it's like we all have our different, it all depends on what you think is super sexy, right? So we all have our different beliefs over what is attractive. But what I will say is, for the two of them, I think she's going to find him her perfect cup of tea, and he will find her that perfect cup of tea. Like, she is all the things that I look for, all the things that I find attractive, like that clicks. And, maybe she has a thing for like jackets. she likes him in a jacket. She likes him in flannel. Maybe that's her, her thing. And that's what he's wearing the first time. Maybe she likes facial hair, and that's what he's got going on. It just says they will be very, very, very attracted to one another. That's the way that comes across. All right, let's go ahead and keep going. Isn't Chrissy wonderful? Electra, I second that. So generous. We have so many generous hearts here. It's unbelievable. Yael, Lisa Boyle, God, LMC, oh my God, Alchemist 1111, AC, the list goes on and on and on. There's been so many people. Alicia on her path. I mean, there's hundreds of people that are, I've never seen such generosity ever on a channel. I've never seen such a generous community as what we have here. It's unbelievable. It blows me away all the time. You guys, please don't forget, I'll be doing a little appreciation day that's going to come up at the kind of like the into the mid third week of this month. I will give you guys some heads up, but we're going to take a whole day where I'm just going to go live and just do card pulls and storytellings. So just know that is coming up. I feel like we have such a lovely community here that I wanted to do a little special like springtime celebration. So stay tuned for that. I'll give you guys a heads up when that comes. We have got the Page of Swords here and the Nine of Pentacles. Here's the thing. I think he may wait. He may sit there and, I mean, heck, if she's sitting there chit-chatting with her friend for 5 hours, he's going to wait 5 hours. Like, he could sit there many, many hours and actually thoroughly enjoy, maybe not necessarily meaning to eavesdrop, but not being able to avoid it because of wherever he's sitting and positioned. But he's going to just wait until finally the opportunity arrives. And before she walks out that door, he's going to probably jump up and make sure that he gets a chance to, possibly clumsily, because he's got to move fast, make sure that he approaches her. And I just feel like he's gained, in the time he maybe has either been sitting there waiting for an opportunity to talk to her, I think he has gained so much respect. He sees her as somebody that is extremely, when we really appreciate somebody or admire somebody, all of a sudden it's like, it doesn't matter. Even if they turn me down, I don't care. My real objective is to tell them, I think you're absolutely fantastic. Couldn't help but over here, you've got a really melodic voice. I needed to tell you that. I'd like to ask you out, but don't know what your circumstances are. But if you're single, I would very much like to ask you out. Sometimes when we get to the point where it doesn't even matter if they're going to turn us down, we just like that person. We want to tell them that. We want to tell them that we appreciate them. That kind of is the vibe that I have off of him. Because this is, Loki, god of chaos, sudden impulsive action, coming in on that peregrine falcon. Peregrine falcons are known for amazing eyesight. So I have to say, we keep seeing him kind of like watching not in a creepy way, but just kind of unable to like not notice her. There's something really special about her. And it's just ironic because this whole time she's been helping out a friend. She hasn't been thinking about anybody paying attention to her. She wasn't there for her. She was there for a friend. But that's when he notices her. And that's when he has the confidence himself to approach her. I kind of think that it makes such good sense why this seems like it's all going to click so well. It's even better that she has no idea anybody's paying attention to her. It's even better that this is just kind of like the every character here gets a chance to listen to their own intuition and follow what feels right in the moment. She listened to her intuition about spending time with a friend. He's listening to his intuition about going someplace that puts him on her path, and then his intuition about approaching her. Let's go back to this first deck and say, so how does this play out as far as like, what does the universe have to say? Queen of Cups. The universe says, look, everybody, when you vibe higher, when you do good things, high vibrational things, you attract more high vibrational people oftentimes. And the same way when you are around, like, okay, I think we can all understand this. If you've ever walked into, let's say, work and your coworkers, three of them are having just a rough day and they're just sour because they had a crappy situation at their own house and then they left and they come to work and they're just snippy and bitey. And it's just the microaggressions, as they call them, to use our new terminology. But it's like, what you said wasn't mean. It was just the way you delivered it that was just intentionally like to be, angry at me for some reason. And sometimes we get it wrong. Sometimes that's not how somebody says it, but pitch and tone and stuff like that. That's if you're talking directly to somebody and you know that they intentionally are being disrespectful, disregarding, it comes across, right? And that in turn can make you feel like hurt, hostile, like why'd you bite me for no good reason? All I did was walk in and say good morning and everybody's in a bitch mood and everybody's being hostile and it makes the entire energy just yucky. And then your first customers walk in and it gets worse from there. Sometimes everybody can just stew and make an entire situation gross and everybody winds up feeling worse. On the other hand, the reverse can be true as well, especially when we listen to our higher self to do something kind, when we listen to our higher self to respond differently, when we listen to our higher self to interact from that best version of ourselves. We interact with somebody, we try our best to, listen to, I feel compassionate toward this person, that's what I'm going to show. That's kind of the energy that she was rolling in, and we can see the ripple effect that it has. She's, even with the pitch of her voice, she is sending out like a calm, soothing energy. She is attracting more high vibrational energy into her world. Now, in this story, it just happens to say that the feminine, our lead character feminine, whether or not she knows it, is in like a very high vibration. I say that because she sits in a, amethyst crystal seat here. And that says she is the center point. And if we go back, she was in the quartz crystal here. So I would say she is starting a movement. She is the high vibrational frequency that is sending out soothing vibes and attracting people who want to also get into a better vibration. And that includes him. He was sitting there by himself as the hermit, but he was attuned to her voice, the tone of her, the energy she was exuding, because that's what he wants to gravitate toward too. So this whole story actually says, thanks to the fact that she was high vibrational enough to listen to those downloads that she was getting and to then take positive action in her own life, that is what attracts all of this. So let's say this is actually more of a story about manifesting, but with a twist. It's a different way to manifest. instead, because usually we think about manifesting where it's like, oh, I want this and I'm going to put up pictures of it on a vision board and I'm going to, think good thoughts and I'm going to, they say, oh, act like you already have something that you really want, or envision the way you'll feel as if how enjoyable would it be if you actually already have this thing that you want. Put your mindset and your emotions into that headspace about how great that will feel. And then, think about that thing to, bring it into your life. Other times we say, figure out what you want and then slowly but surely, write down the goals of what would I need to do to get there and then take actionable steps. So we talk about manifesting in all those ways, but this is a different twist on it. This is, what if the real way that we manifest is a little bit more, remember, she's a high priestess. So she does it different. She's not doing it from a cerebral place. She's doing it from a subconscious place that not even she fully has tapped into, but she's basically like kind of living her truth and going off of her gut instinct. She's saying, I get this kind of a download that I want to do something good. And I want good things in my own life too, but not everything's about me. But I feel like I want to do something good. I feel compelled to do something kind. I noticed my friend. I think my friend needs something. I'm an empath. I want to go ahead and share something. This is an empath, though, that is aware, like how much she can give, because she doesn't get depleted. But she does say, you know what? I could do something kind. It's not going to cost me anything other than some time to spend with somebody that I already care about anyway. So that's also wonderful. I get to spend time with someone I care for, somebody who I think maybe they need some support right now. I feel something pulls me toward this. So I'm going to do that. And as she does those things purely on like her subconscious energy flow, that ultimately manifests and attracts things that she wants for herself as well, even if she hadn't put it into the forefront of her mind. This is more like she's living her truth, and that's how she's manifesting. It's not that she thinks about it like, okay, here's where my life has to be. This is the house I have to live in. She's just living her truth. And her truth for the high priestess is like, I listen, how animals that are migratory, they know where to travel to. They know where to go at different times of the year. She operates more like that. She knows where she needs to go. She doesn't have to overthink it. She just kind of lives this way. But it's so wild because it is all clicking into place. And maybe although we say that this is different, maybe it's better. So sometimes I don't like the whole topic of manifesting because it feels really controlling, and it feels like, some of the stuff I think is downright crazy. Like, especially the, imagine that you already have it, live like you already have it, talk like you already have it. I think that's crazy though. Telling people to pretend you have tons and tons of money and lie about how much money you have, that's crazy. That's called lying. That's not manifesting. There's a fine line between like positive thought processes and fantasy land that will not help your life at all. So I always kind of have an issue with some of that stuff and the way it's presented, because I think it can be bonkers. But this makes a lot more sense to me, because it's just living from like, hopefully, your best energetic space. I'm compassionate. I know there's other people on this planet aside from me. When something strikes me that I feel like I want to do something kind or generous, I just do it because it feels right. And I think that's how she's living. And that is what is yielding these tremendous results, particularly right about now in her life, because she's attracting somebody else. Granted, they have to be as attuned as she is in their own way. And he is. We saw him first with that bird flying overhead. We know it would make sense why she would be able to connect to somebody who has like a spirit animal or someone who is listening to his own intuition. This is what is bringing the right people together at the right time, at the right place to meet. And yeah, they do have a beautiful future up ahead. This could be, well, in this story, I'll say this is the person that she marries. And it's very clear. It's very obvious why these two met. It won't, again, they may have to think back and be like, how wild is it that, I didn't go out expecting to meet anybody that night. I was just out with my friend. But for some reason, it was the right time and the right place. but this explains why sometimes we say that, it's the right time and the right place. Yeah, because you listened to the core of who you are. So maybe that's what it means when we say it's all in the details. Why do we listen to any like little nudge from our subconscious to do something positive, to do something, go somewhere and interact a little bit? Why do we listen to that? It's those little subtle details. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. I so enjoyed this one. And I always feel like when we have characters that are so like gracious and so kind, I feel like that is probably because everybody who's in this community is exactly that kind of person. I mean, I see it all the time. You guys are beyond generous, beyond kind. I've never seen such lovely comments to me toward one another, and I just feel like this story could apply to like any person out there in this community right now, because I just feel like we have such an amazing group of really high vibrational people. So thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for gifting my life with your energy, with your kindness, and endless support and generosity as well. But you guys are lovely. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Stephanie, right back at you, babe. Thank you so much, Stephanie Lynn. Chrissy, thank you so much, honey. Sagittarius, 29, Sagittarius 51. Thank you, hun. Alchemist 1111. Thank you for all of your kindness, babe. Hufflepuff at heart, nice to see you. And welcome, Electra. Sorry, guys. Sea Goat 77. First off, love, love, love your name. Oh my God, that makes me so happy. And it is a really, really wonderful group. Thank you for being here, Sea Goat. The Blue Star 444. Amen to that. I so agree with you. 1444 Sissy. Hi, hun. TLV, wonderful to see you today. Ken Ramey's in the house. Very nice. Yeah, definitely. Annie S. Hi, honey. Yeah. No, we're headed for one in the middle of this month. So I'll give you guys some heads up as that starts approaching. Hi, Libra girl. You guys are so kind. Thank you for being here. Wendy E. Blonde and Bert. Angel Vibes. You guys are so awesome. Dwayne Anderson. Hi, sweetie. You're always fashionably on time, Dwayne. We love it. So good to see you. Lyrical Galactic. Wonderful to catch you, hon. Hang on, let me see if I can say this right. Is it Jupe Vert? Did I say that right? Please forgive me if I botched it, but so nice to see you. And NES, don't think I forgot Capricorn. I didn't. We've got several zodiacs to get to today. Beth Ross, hi honey. Rania Kamal, La Unique, hi everyone. Hi T, Limitless Babe. I love that, Rising Justice. Hi Helen. I love that. Thanks, Helen. Small TV, wonderful to see you today, honey. Sharice Ali's in the house. Hey, sweetie. Courtney Jade, wonderful to see you. Oh my God, Courtney Jade. I don't know if I know that song. I will check it out. Nina Blaze. I can't think of it right now anyway, so I will definitely go check it out. I love me some music. Feeling my soul. So nice to see you, babe. Brave Pink Hero Green, Naomi Torres, Rip Van Winkle, Love is Legendary, Robin, Lion Queen, you were first in the house today. And Feel My Soul, you were second in the house. Shout out to everybody who is not here right now. I know this is an unusual time for me to be live, but shout out to AC, to Violet, Yael. A shout out to Calm Seas. Oh my God, Travis Rhodes. We have such a wonderful group, especially in the later evenings. But I'm sorry, I won't be around for late tonight, so I want to do one earlier today. But thinking of everybody out there. Chalita in Chicago, No Filters Mon. Thank you guys so much. All right, lots of love, you guys. I'll see you on the other side. I've got to get some of our final zodiacs wrapped up. All right, bye, guys. I always do this. My button is in the wrong spot for farewell.